Hey, good morning, everybody. Dan John here from danjohnuniversity.com. I'm doing the 10,000 swing challenge. I'm over halfway. Uh, we'll have some special guests here in a couple days to join with me, which will be kind of fun. Uh, some people said they wanted to join this morning thing, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. I don't know where I'm going to fit you, but okay. Uh, so it's a 10,000 swing challenge. I'm using the 20-kilo bell because I'm 65, and I suggest men use a 24. Women, the 16 or 12, depending on their technique and things. Uh, I don't suggest going heavier. Certainly, after you do it one time, I played around with lots of different methods, but just do it simple the first time. I think, um, people read my articles, but they don't realize that that article came out after the third or fourth time I tried it, or this thing is for this situation. So just do your best. Um, Physically, I'm doing better today. I have been struggling with COVID, which is not unusual. I mean, lots of people are struggling with it, but I'm doing better. I feel much better today, though I sound worse and I look worse. One thing, it's interesting, and I want to talk about this today. Today's. I'm coming towards the end of the 14-day fat loss boost, but almost no change on the scale at all. And this is an important thing to remember. And this happens to me. This happened last year. It happened the year before, too. This is important to remember. When I do the 10,000 swing challenge, very often I lose. The joke being like last year I started, I weighed 251 pounds. And by the time I did 10,000 swings, I weighed 250.9999999 pounds. After that, though, I lost 20 pounds almost effortlessly, oh, in the next, very quickly. And then I got down to 218 doing easy strength for fat loss, which is my program for my site. And I'm not saying anything is wrong in the world of fat loss. It all sort of works. But if you're dieting hard and training hard, like this is sort of hard. I mean, it's not the hardest thing I've done in my life, but it's hard. You don't tend to lose fat. You don't tend to lose body weight or fat as efficiently as if you really get smart in the kitchen, which the fat loss boost is, but you combine it with an easy training program. And I'm breaking Rusty's rules, Rusty Moore from Fat Loss Boost, and I'm breaking my own rules, but that's okay because I'm in a time crunch in January this year because I want to do the Fat Loss Boost with the Fat Loss Boost group. I want to do the 10,000 swing challenge with the 10,000 swing challenge group, and I got a weightlifting meet on the 12th of February, so I'm stuck with doing all these things at once. Question. Good morning. Oh, we got someone from Portugal here too. That's always nice. I was actually looking at buying someplace in Portugal. I feel good. Hey, good morning, everybody. Uh, yeah, in the home here, I think everybody's feeling better. Certainly Leo, he's just absolutely delightful. I think the kids are doing better. We all got this nasty, rasty from about here to about here. But the Omicron variant, I guess, doesn't go into the lungs, which is great because if you know my work at all, you know I suffer from pleurisy, which is interesting because when I first got it, my doctor said, yeah, this is an old man smoking disease. And I went, oh, thanks a lot. That means a lot to me. But I've always had bad lungs since birth. Thankfully, certain drugs came out when I was born in the late 50s that got me through pneumonia. I had pneumonia constantly. I have my baby book. I'm sick with pneumonia all the time. So I've had lousy lungs my whole life, which is why I breathe so heavy even when I'm not working on it. So we have viewers doing their laundry. Uh, make sure, pull the clothes out quickly after they get done in the dryer and fold them there. Leaves them less wrinkled. Uh, Somebody asked a question about just doing deadlifts and swings for easy strength. Well, I mean, you certainly could. Boy, that'd be a lot of work for, like, the hinge. I mean, it'd be fine. I don't know. I mean, there must be a reason you're doing it, and I think it's fine. You know, when people always get on me about this perfect workout stuff, or only two, I like talking about minimal workouts, and I've done them many times in my career because of time, mostly, life. But I don't like if you could only do two, but my favorites would be the half kneeling one hand press and swings. I think that's a great minimalist workout. It covers so much ground, but swings and deadlifts, that seems to me like to be working the same thing, but it doesn't matter because you might do swings and deadlifts, and 6 months from now you'd be like, all my dreams have come true, because the body responds radically different than what we'd like to think. Okay, so I, yeah, I've never, like, when all I did was snatch and clean. I made some of the best progress in my life. Yeah, 3 days a week, snatch and clean. And at one time it was squat, snatch, and power clean. So I really wasn't even getting this. I mean, I was getting some squat movement in, but God, I made great progress. Of course, something like that works, and then it doesn't, and then you have to remix the. You gotta go back to the basics again. As long as you keep coming back to the basics, I think every experiment works. I think it does. Even experiments that fail miserably, like, oh, I don't know, doing the fat loss boost, training for an Olympic lifting meet, doing the 10,000 swing challenge, and having COVID. That experiment, I don't think it's working. But here we are. The one thing about the 10,000 swing challenge is how my grip comes in. So two things came in. First, serious block not being impressed, true. And then as long as you experiment, get back to the basics, yeah. I think that's the idea. It's weird. If people show up during an experiment, they think I'm the strangest person in the world. If they show up normal times, they probably think I'm the most boring guy in the world. So I like, there's, in variation, there's wild, there's mild, and there's no. If I'm training for a contest, I like no variation, just so I can see what worked and what didn't. But if I'm just, having a normal period, like a 6-month period, I'll try to have, a couple of weeks of this, a couple of weeks of that, and try to have them as dissimilar as possible, so I get some lessons out of what worked and what didn't. Oh, and somebody asked about my preferred rep scheme. We'll talk about that. Let's get another round first. I started with 2 rounds of 50, but I don't know if I can keep that up. My grip is miles better than it was when I first started, but it still gives out a little early. And the one thing you never want to do is hurt this muscle here. Boy, that is you'd just be shocked at how often this shows up if you ever pull it. It's involved in everything. That little hot spot right there. Yeah. So if you're going to push your grip, that's fine, but just if you don't go to the edge and hurt it. We just got to stop so I can blow my nose. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so what rep schemes do I like the best? Well, if you actually did the academic work and read the articles I've written, which I'm thinking is, I've written 2 for T Nation and probably, I don't know, maybe a dozen people have written other articles. And then, I've written stuff in books about it. But the original plan was a set of 10, a set of 15, a set of 25, a set of 50. Most people couldn't do it. Then we moved to 35, 15. Most people couldn't do it. Then I did this thing called up to 500, where you just get up there randomly. And I think that's the best, but most people can't do it because I don't explain it well enough. You start doing one swing, and you do as many as you can until you get tired. You put the weight down, and then you just pick up on that number all the way up to 500, but I don't know why people can't. And then the other thing, of course, there's got to be, the thing is a 10,000 swing challenge. So you can do one swing a day for 10,000 days, which would be awesome, to be honest with you, I think. You could do 10 swings a day for 100 days, or you can do 1,000 swings a day for 10 days, or you can do, like my one friend did, 10,000 swings in one day for a fundraiser. Or you can do it like I do it, 500 swings in 20 days. So they all work and they're all good. Kevin, I'm not sure what. It, yeah. So Kevin is asking about foot position. You literally watch my foot position, but that's how I have my feet. So I don't like questions about feet and hands because it turns into a DNA thing. But the easiest way to think of this is you push your knees, you pull your feet and knees out when you squat. When you hinge, you try to squeeze the carpet together like this with your feet, and that makes you hinge more. That's helped me teach, but I don't think it helped you. I really don't. Yeah, somebody asks if clients should be able to hinge really well before you swing. I think so. I wait on the swing longer than any coach I know, and only because I have other tools that are just as good as swinging. Uh, and you just guys just you go to my YouTube, and I've got them all in there. I don't get too far behind Not my best sets. Whew. Yeah, when people come in late, sometimes they miss the whole point. Somebody asked about my body composition changes. And like I said in the beginning, for those of you who are coming in late, yeah, none. Oh, I've lost 5 pounds or so, but I'm doing Rusty Moore's fat loss boost, training for an Olympic meet, and doing 10,000 swing challenge. That's too much, so my body is not responding. If you're doing a serious diet, you've got to do some medium whole level, whole body workouts 3 days a week and walk every day, and that's it. I'm training way too hard for a fat loss program. If you're on drugs, you can do it. I was at the bookstore yesterday. Some famous internet guy now has, the whole set. There must be 3 or 4 books. The thing this person forgets to mention is that this person does hormone replacement therapy, and it's like, if you're 65, if you're my age and you're all shredded and you're ripped to shreds because I don't know, I'm just making something up, but you eat a pound of licorice every day, but you don't mention the hormone replacement therapy, you're just lying to your audience, and I'm fine with that. You guys have been lied to before in the fitness industry, and you're gonna get lied to again because you're gonna flick off my channel and go to somebody who's sexier and groovier and tells you what you want to hear, but doesn't tell you the whole story. I tell you what you don't want to hear, and I tell you the whole story. I gotta really work on my business plan. I need to lie more. Remind me to lie more, okay? Okay. Reading Fat Loss Happens on Monday. Josh does good work there. Also, somebody asked me about my warm-ups. You guys see everything I do. So when people ask me questions about somebody asked me about warm-ups, and honestly, folks, when you ask about rest periods, you're literally watching in real time what I'm doing. When you ask me about warm-ups, you're literally watching me in real time what I'm doing. I didn't do anything else. It is true. Just off stage here, you don't see it, but I have a whole bevy of. I have a makeup artist, a hair person, somebody who picks out my outfits for me. There's probably 80, 85 people back there in the green room. With the production. I was going to go on production values. Yeah, no, I don't warm up. You see exactly what I'm doing here. Oh man, sorry. Okay, let's keep cracking them out. This will get us into the 200. Okay, we're over 200. Well, let's see if we can get over. Let's see if we can get over 250. Somebody asked a question I didn't fully understand about squats and explosiveness and stuff. I'm sorry if I missed the question. Any books on plyometrics I recommend? None. Yeah. I have them all. I have the classics from the early days when they first came out. Hadfield's book, Chu's book, CHU. I knew him. Donald Chu. He was the coach at Hayward State. I didn't like him. That's not being a jerk or anything. He was just that. There's a certain kind of track coach. There was the whole kind of track coach I grew up with, the Ralph Mons, the Bud Winters, the great coach at Washington, the UCLA, USC coaches, just gentlemen, World War II vets. And then there was this next collection of guys that were just, God, they were just jerks. I just remember, and it wasn't Chu, but the other guy I'm thinking about, he was having sex with his athletes and stuff. But he was an expert in everything. If he didn't, so yeah, I have all the books. I'm just not a big fan of. Yeah. I've got a bunch of little plyometric books in here. The downside is on plyometrics is that you know uh, I do have a book that's pretty good about it. Quantum Fitness by Dardik, Dardik, and Waitley, Dennis with one N, Waitley, Waitley. Everyone hated Dardik later on because they said he became a charlatan because he was trying to help people with MS. He actually had success with people with MS, but uh, it was by lifting weights, and that got him in trouble, I guess. I don't know the whole story, but the book does have plyometrics, and it's good. It's basically skipping and bounding and stuff. My knock on plyos is everyone takes them way too far. All right. Do I think I'll hit my dog in the head, or yeah, I'll just remind me not to hit him. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why you would superset kettlebells with plyos because the kettlebell swing is basically what a plyometric is. Kettlebell swings are safe plyos. I feel the same way about the Olympic lifts. When someone said to me years ago, "Why aren't you doing plyos?" I was like, "My kids snatch 3 days a week. My athletes clean 1 or 2 times a week. Where is this plyos?" And it's funny because my athletes were throwing literally in one case twice as far as his coaches. That's a long gap, and it was like, and his poor kids, they were all these big kind of overweight kids and doing box jumps. It was just destroying them. But hey, halfway. I feel much better today, but you can certainly tell everything's starting to come up. That's disgusting. What really helped me as a coach was when my children were the age of my athletes. And I stopped looking at my athletes like they were adults. And I started looking at my athletes like they were babies. It really helped me. Some questions came up, but I want to get back to this. Yeah, Nate, I'm feeling better. Yeah. If you mean by half snatch, I don't know what you mean by half snatch to the person who asked the question. You mean a power snatch in Olympic lifting? I don't know what a half snatch is. We were doing box jumps, and the kids were getting those massive, big, huge scars here for missing box squats. It's kind of, pardon me, a badge of honor in some gyms. And then this girl blew a MCL coming off of a box jump wrong. And then I went into our coach's office that day and I banned box squats forever. I said that, the risk to reward, just the cost to benefit just wasn't there. And it was interesting because the coach who had a terrible relationship with his children, had a horrible, was cheating on his wife, literally texting his girlfriend during his weight classes. And then the other coach, and then the other one, we all kind of just looked like, yeah, these are babies. These are kids. That scar that they have on their here, that stays the rest of their life. That MCL scar, that stays forever. And these guys aren't going to make it as pros. That's one of the hardest lessons to learn as a coach. You is you know one of the hardest lessons to learn as a coach is that the bulk of your athletes, I mean, my attorney is a former athlete, my doctor's a former athlete, my lawyer, that's what my athletes go on to be, doctors, attorneys, professors. That group of throwers I had in the late 90s, every one of them is a college professor now, which is great. One in biology, one teaches at law school, one's a art professor of art. It's wonderful. But if they've got broken legs and bad ankles from my coaching, that stays. You know? Oh, yeah, that okay, yeah, okay. So this person calls this a half snatch, where you snatch here and bring it down. It's a habit, and if you're doing a snatch test, you'll get failed for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. Uh, I don't. I mean, it's great. I mean, if that's what you're doing, it's fine. I don't have an opinion. I don't know why I didn't do 300 there, but whatever. Uh, and by the way, if I don't have a strong opinion on a movement, don't think I think it's bad or good. There's just so many movements you can do, you know. And I say this in my Game Changers uh, course over at the Dan John University. You know, once I started doing the power lifts mixed with the Olympic lifts, you just start to wonder, why would you do all this other junk? You know, at my peak, I'm snatching over 300, cleaning and jerking close to 400, squatting over 6, deadlifting over 6, benching over 400. If someone would have said to me then, "Hey, try this thing," I'd be like, for what? What am I going to get out of this kettlebell swing that I'm not getting out of that 600-pound deadlift? Well, okay, so somebody asked about the vertical jump. First off, if you want a big vertical jump, pick your parents really well. Spend some quality time looking at your parents, because that's the key. Um, the mistake you make in vertical jump is that most people focus on the Newton's law, action, reaction. And it's absolutely true, by the way. But what they miss is from here to here. So if I go boom and I've got a million pounds of force going into the ground, but I'm so loose and unknitted here, I wobble it all out, then it's a waste of time. So what happens with most people's vertical jumps as they age, they still have the power here. They've just become less knitted, less chain link fenced. And that's why for me, for jumpers, anybody who jumps, I have them do suitcase carries, heavy suitcase carries, to knit them up. And it's weird because they don't understand it at first, nor do I. I don't understand why it works, and then it works later. But let's get away from vertical jump questions. I mean, no matter what I say, there's a million places on the internet that are going to disagree with me 100%, and they're going to be sexier websites with all kinds of pictures and all kinds of graphs and stuff, and you're just going to fall in love with it, You're going to buy their vertical jump trainer thing for $399.99, and you're going to use it, and nothing's going to happen. And then a year later, you're going to come back and go, huh, these athletes can't do vertical jumps because they're all chubby, tubby, and they they, they can't walk up a flight of stairs. And so to increase your vertical jump, you got to be extremely conditioned from knees to neck. And then, of course, I mean, it's weird. I still think the hip thrust might be as good for the vertical jump as 99% of the crap I see. Yeah, just go to the glute lab, just Brett Contreras did it. And, hip thrust, front squat, a deadlift appropriate variation, hip thrust goblet squat, a deadlift appropriate variation, hip thrust goblet squat, kettlebell swing if you can teach it. Every time I do a kettlebell swing, I'm doing a standing long jump. And then suitcase carry, suitcase carry, suitcase carry. And then some more suitcase carries. Another thing, if I can remember after this set, I have another kind of interesting thing to add to that. Okay, we're going to get over 300. For those of you on the Pat Flynn program, you'll be done in 10 minutes. On the your mileage can vary. Shoot. I have a neck strap, and we hook it up by a rope or a strap to maybe something as light as a 10 or 5 kilo weight, 10 pound or 5 kilo weight, and do bear crawls with it around your neck. And we were doing that basically as a test for American football and for military applications and concussions even. But one of the things, this isn't very good, but this is just feedback over time, is that oddly, bear crawls with a light. So you're dragging with the head strap. So I'm bear crawling like this. My head's up here. I got the neck strap on, the head strap here. The weight goes all the way back to maybe 10 pounds way down there. Is that people were saying that they felt more control anytime they did anything like play basketball. And got me thinking that I'm wondering if you have a head, if you can suddenly get this area stronger, I'm wondering if that'll help your vertical jump also. Because what you'll notice with great athletes is how quiet the head is. Okay, for some reason I can't read. Thank you. Hey! Good morning, Matthew. Okay, so I don't, for whenever I can't read the bottom, but the thing is, should you not Olympic lift if there's some scale the person has, but I can't read it. It got jumbled up on the thing the way it comes up here. I think it's an Olympic lift anytime you feel like it. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Larry. This is the thing I disagree with a lot of people. I mean, and now that we got all these screens and stuff, if someone comes to me and says, I want an Olympic lift in a meet, I mean, it's the should we and the could we thing. Yes, absolutely, that comes in. Done correctly, yes. If appropriate, yes, and all those things. But I don't care what their screen looks like. I know this. If you come to me as an older client, you want an Olympic lift, I can tell you one thing. whatever we screen you on today isn't what it's going to look like in 8 weeks. You're going to be miles better if you Olympic lift. If we do it right. If we do it wrong, you'll be miles worse. So yeah, I didn't say I was perfect. I just said I was willing to help. Oh, having a head cold is miserable trying to do swings. I'll be right back. Okay, any questions? By the way, folks, you're always welcome to disagree with everything I say. Because, a lot of the stuff I feel strongly about, lots and lots of people make a lot of money telling you about, to do it, and I'm telling you, it's a waste of time, it doesn't work. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I think there's got to be a point in your lives, don't you agree? Or aren't you? I mean, there's got to be one or two who are just tired of being ripped off by the fitness industry, aren't you? I mean, how many of you ever bought a supplement that turned out to be, you later on found out was a joke? Me. Uh, when you find out what Hoffman was doing with the York barbell with his proteins, all of his all of his proteins came out of the same exact vat, and they used a canoe paddle to mix things up. There was, I mean, God only knows the hygiene. The only one that was unique was the one that tasted like, I mean, it was that fish protein from the sea. Oh God, it was unsmellable. Um, I can remember back in the '80s when people were selling tinctures, these little droplets that had just a tiny bit of the supplement in there. We all fell for it, and I'm first in line here. You didn't actually need a lot of amino acids. You needed just a certain, at a certain level. How many of you ever have done bee pollen, horny goatweed, B15? And there's another one. Gosh, I mean, there are some supplements that do help. I mean, I take supplements. I like them, especially here in the winter here in Utah. I think vitamin D3 is helpful. It gets dark, it's 7 o'clock. I don't know if you can tell. I know you guys can. YouTubers probably better, but it's dark. It's still dark and it stays dark. And with COVID, no one went outside. And I think last year one of the reasons everyone was struggling so much in the last couple of years is it was dark. And you stayed outside. I mean, last summer I thought about this. The number of times I just spent time in the backyard just hanging out, not putting things up or you know, putting away someone's dog poo, but just hanging out. And it wasn't very. I stopped. There's all those games we play. Stopped doing it. Another one I think I certainly like is magnesium. That's maybe just for me. Well, thank you, Simmons Sun Devil. A little bit of honesty. It's good to have. I'm going to pour some more coffee. We're on the downhill on this already. The nice thing about the 10,000 swing challenge is that just like what Einstein taught us, time does change. You know, when you first do this, the first day of the challenge, 45 minutes to an hour seems like forever. At the end, it's just like, that's not such a big deal. If you've ever done a timed like hot yoga class or something like that, the first time you do it, it just seems like forever. And then like after a while, you're like, oh, we're done. Why did that happen? Yeah. I kind of wish I could find a good hot yoga place. Obviously, I don't go to the Beacom guy when I was at the thing, and the girl told me, yeah, he got a medal in the '64 Olympics in weightlifting. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. He said so. Well, okay, just because he said so doesn't mean because I do know the '64 Olympics well. Any fan of Lou Ricci and Tommy Kona would know those Olympics. Okay, let's get to 400 if we can here. Okay. Okay, downhill. Oh, on paper, I Olympic lift today. I might even be able to today, I hope. Uh, it's funny. People ask me questions all the time, and I answer them. It just seems to piss them off. Like people say, what do you think of burpees? I think they're a waste of your time. What do you think of lunges? I think they're a waste of your time. What do you think of this? It's a waste of your time. What is that? And then people get mad at me. It's like, why'd you ask? If you disagree with me, just be like, okay, I disagree. And then like on this one guy on one of my forums, he just wants all this follow-up. What do you think about this exercise? I did it. It hurt me. I didn't like it. It's a waste of time. There's better things. Well, why do you say that? Well, just because the reason I just said. Well, this person that you like doesn't. Well, good. This person that I also friends with, isn't 65, and my first trophy's from 1967, folks. I mean, that's a lot of time getting. This nose has been broken 6 times, 5 times, more than that. 4 times in sports, and I got a picture of my nose breaking in a picture. So, do I recommend, I mean, I'm not going to tell somebody to do something that hurt me, or if something hurts, we stop doing it. I mean, is that, do most people keep doing things when they hurt and don't? I mean, it's one thing if it hurts, but you make progress for it. For example, like fasting, I would say kind of hurts at times. It does. Like the fast mimicking diet by about it must be day 2 maybe. Man, you get hungry. It's a 5-day thing. It's day 2. It kind of hurts. It hurts your feelings, that's for sure. So Dean, of course, wants follow-up because I say that, of course. Dean, I'll just quote Pavel. If you can do lunges, you don't need to do lunges. If you can't do lunges, you shouldn't do lunges. I just don't like it. I've never had an athlete tell me that was a game changer, ever. I've never had an American football player come up after the season, stick their finger on my chest and say, Coach, it was the lunges. It was the lunges, man. And again, you guys like doing lunges because, but once you've front squatted over 400, sneaking up on 500, and you do a lunge, you'd be like, hill sprints are so much better than lunges. They're safer. Why am I talking about lunges? Now, see, now my days, the whole day's ruined. You've ruined 2022. It's a joke, okay? So don't go weep there. Any suggestions for youth hockey players? Yeah, get a lot. Spend a lot of time on the ice. Learn to be a good skater. Uh, Push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded carry. Don't make it fancy with junior hockey players. Get them strong. Teach them how to squat. Teach them how to hinge. Do the power lifts. I think the power lifts would be just fine. Don't try to be sport specific. It'd be nice to see them get a weighted chin up for just for safety's sake. Chin up the hands this way. It'd be nice to see them do military presses. Don't get too fancy. Just get one of my free books. Go to danjohn.net and look up From the Ground Up. There's a good program in there. But you raise a point. The same people who push lunges, I'll say, like I know somebody who pushes lunges and burpees. And he'll be like, he's actually called me out on a workshop. But here's the thing, this same coach won't teach the Olympic lifts because they're too dangerous and they're too hard to coach, is the kind of quoting. And I'm like, okay, there's almost no coaching burpees, but still, yesterday we had a question. Someone got hurt doing burpees. But it's like, with all someone's experience in the weight room, they can't coach the Olympic lifts. Why can't they? Is it they never tried? I mean, I have a hard time believing, but it's still true. I mean, you get these guys from the machine background, bodybuilding and machine background, who are now strength coaches, and they literally don't know the basics. They don't know how to squat. They don't know how to deadlift. They don't know how to Olympic lift. They can't do kettlebells. And so they knock on what I teach because I come from a world, American football and track and field, where snatch, the clean, the Olympic lifts, the power lifts, the kettlebell world. That's what makes you great in the stadium. I'll agree. A lot of these guys look better. There's this one guy online who constantly, you see him referenced in every book now. He's never done anything either as an athlete or a trainer, but you guys love this person because every time you go onto their site, there's a new magic supplement that, the reason you're not improving is that you don't have infrared underwear, and you need to wear these special goggles while you're on the phone. And never shockingly, they always have a sale. You guys love when I rant. You do the humane burpee 3 times a week. You got to get yourself a bit of a life there, Larry. Yes. Mix it up a little bit for me, okay? I always find it interesting when people ask to be in my live video. Why? All right, let's. We might be able to knock these out in 2 sets. Let's see. Today's gone well. You guys got me angry, which is unusual. My dog has been dangerously in my path the whole time, but I've decided in the last few days I can't keep dealing with him every morning because he is. I think he's trying to make a statement that I need to spend more time with him. And my thought is, I've spent the whole week with you. I've been right there, laying right there in the couch sectional, and he's been right there laying. So we spent plenty of time together. I've been cleaning up his diarrhea. He's been listening to me cough. It's been a great week. Okay, one more set and we're done for the day. If you have any last questions, friends, on Instagram, let me know. Oh, we do? Shoot. Yeah. So someone said something about split squats and whatever. I don't think those have a ton of value either, but who cares? When we were running, when I was a judge and we were running hills twice a week, none of my athletes would have gotten anything out of split squats because we were running hills, only up. And then somebody else asked a question about training rear deltoids. If you know even the smallest amount of my work, point number one is the body is one piece. I don't believe in training the body like it's Frankenstein's monster. I don't. Rear deltoids, I don't know. Get your snatch up over 150 kilos and we'll talk then. I don't. That's a bodybuilding question. Go. I mean, and I'm not being a jerk. Just go ask somebody who believes in Frankenstein's monster. That's not the way I do things. So Jason has 3 dogs and he knows exactly the problem. The other day, he was sitting on top of the kettlebell as I started, which made it like, you know, this house has 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I got 5 different decks. I got a 4-car garage, massive weight room, and yet, boom, you know, he had to be right there, and that is dog 101. Hey, when I finish the set, I'll be done. So if you guys have questions, I'll stick around. And then the nice thing about the Instagram folks is what I usually do is while I'm breaking down, I keep it on so you can ask more then. Hey everybody, so tomorrow we'll come back. We're about to finish up here with, and it's going to get us to, wow, this weekend is going to be great. So today we'll be at 5,750 because I had that one day where I was sick and only did 250. I've been sick the whole time, but I was more sick. And so this weekend we will, boy, we'll be coming to the end here. Probably a week from today we'll finish. That'd be great. I'll try to get ahead. Yeah, we had a trainer talking about how people expect everything to be on machines. Hey, didn't you guys see that documentary called Terminator? It's a true story. It's what really happened. It's a true story. Most people don't remember that. Remember when machines took over about a decade ago? Remember this? And President Obama said not to tell the stupid people because they'd freak out. You guys have to remember this story, don't you? Remember the president came out and said, don't tell the stupid. Oh, it's one of my favorite jokes with high school kids. Oh, hey, I know Mr. Coggles Fitness. And a happy new year to you. Good to hear your voice. What I tell people, men use a 24, Women use the 16 or 12, depending on their technique and anything else. And if you're 65, like somebody you know, then we use the 20. And I also use the 20 because I hate doing this, and I do it every year. But let me just finish off these 25. We'll say goodbye to my YouTube friends, and then we'll talk, okay? All right, last set of 25, okay? Oh, and 500. Ah, good, good, good. Well, thank you so much, gentle viewers on YouTube. Remember, danjohnuniversity.com. We got the special, one word, new year, 1 year, one word. The site is then $29 for 3 months, and the goals course will be $15, which is really worth your time. We have a new course on game changers on there, and of course, I strongly recommend the programming and the 2 easy strength courses. And if you're a student of mine at St. Mary's, you should know all that already. Hey, thanks so much. And remember, until next time, let's all keep on lifting and learning, okay? Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.